Here's your grid then for the junior Rotax final. Joe Garraway and Jacob Duke share the front row. And then it's Maximus Shields and Nicholas Ellis. Those two battling out for second place in the championship. Maximus Shields, though, just needs to finish the race to take that second place crown. Seamus Cox, he starts in 5th. Alongside him, Ollie Naylor in the 85. Then it's Ben Horner in 7th, Sam Stoner, Curtis Latimer and Harry Hurst Grover, with Bartek Filipiak and Melissa Adrian on row number 6. Rhys Owen starts 13th with Jaden Hewitt alongside. Jensen Mason and James Waring are on row 8, with Catherine Potter and David Goodman completing your 18 kart grid. Having a quick look down there, and heading down towards the dummy grid, just walking down, and see Cameron Tipping in the background, Harry Neeson as well, and there's some celebrations there for congratulatory rub of the hair there for your winner. Juniors then making their way out, Joe Garraway and Jacob Dukes at the head of this one, with Maximus Shields and Nicholas Ellis in 3rd and 4th. Once again, a race where the top two haven't really been pitched against each other too much because of their random grid scores, so they'll be interesting to go off the front row together. 104 points for Garraway, 102 for your 2022 junior Rotax champion here in the JKC, Jacob Dukes in the 34. Field closing up then as they head round towards the that looks far enough away that it's not going to bother us on the industrial estate on the way in, but nonetheless it is some smoke there in the distance on pretty much the far side of the entrance road. Here we come then, Joe Garraway leading them round, dictating the pace, and it's a very, very slow one from Garraway. Then you can hear as they put the power down, away he goes, and Joe Garraway will lead them over the line with Jacob Dukes and Maximus Shields immediately down the inside of Dukes. Then it's going to be a drag race down that back straight. Shields relents and Dukes comes through into 2nd place. Shields then in 3rd with Nicholas Ellis in 4th place. In front of Seamus Cox, although that is going to be brief, as Ollie Naylor looks to go down the inside, although Cox runs it all the way around the outside on the rumble strip and drops back into 5th. There's a move in the background as well, coming through down the inside. Keep an eye out on who that is. It could be Ben Horner making the moves in the 12th. Been really, really impressed with him in his first outing in the juniors here today at Ellough Park. Minutes plus 1 lap, which is some 50% more than the 8 minutes plus 1 lap heat. So these drivers who have worked tirelessly all day as well, particularly now as the autumn sunshine bakes Ellough Park, are really going to have to work hard in this final race of the day. And Garraway defending what it appears already down there into Alan Wones from Jacob Dukes, Maximus Shields and Nicholas Ellis. The top 4 nose to tail. Then there's 2 kart lengths back to Seamus Cox and Ollie Naylor, and then there's a little bit more back to Curtis Latimer. So it's pretty much 1 through to 6, all nose to tail, split by a fraction, 1,000th over a second. Into the left at Holmes. Shields goes very, very wide. Ellis behind him. This will be enough for Shields. As we mentioned, finishing would be enough for Shields. Jaden Hewitt has dropped. He's going to drop down the order. He's currently in. Having a quick look where he was. He was in 12th, but he's going to come through in 18th place. He's had a bit of an incident. Not quite sure why, but didn't look overly happy about it. That's for sure. Still nose to tail in this battle for the lead. Slow round homes, a lot slower than what it looks when they're in single on their own, certainly because they're conscious that they don't want to run into the back of each other and potentially drop that front fairing. This may do though is allow Curtis Latimer, Sam Stoner and Ben Horner to close right up on the back of this one if the pace does slow with them battling, because Latimer, who on the previous lap was 8/10 off the back of Ollie Naylor, keep an eye out on that one, because I think that one's going to come down ever so slightly. It's down by another 1/10 or so, but he's still there or thereabouts, as now Dukes and Garraway are tight with each other, and Dukes is through. Good move down the inside, then he defends. That's the 7 of Nicholas Ellis, who was in 4th place. He's dropped all the way down the order. He's going to be at least outside the top 6 or 7. We'll keep an eye out from where he's going to slot back in. But the 7 of Nicholas Ellis, who was under pressure from Cox and Naylor, battling on the back of Maximus Shields. Cox is still there, as is Naylor as well. And get confirmation when Ellis comes through over the start-finish line next time round, whereabouts he is. Drops down to at least 7th. It's going to be 9th, 10th by the time the rest come through. And now there is confirmation that he's outside the top 10, 15th, 16th place for Nicholas Ellis. Then Jaden Hewitt as well is through. That's dropped him down from 4th place into 17th. Shields still on the back of Garraway. Since Duke's got through, he has managed to open up a gap of around about half a second, but Garraway with him as they make their way up towards Degner 1. Garraway with the fastest lap on that previous, with Shields setting a personal best as well. Garraway be able to close back in here in this much longer race than what we've had, so tyre preservation, also tyre pressures with them coming up as they get warmer really are quite important. Naylor and Cox nose to tail in that battle for 4th place. Looks like in the background you'll catch the move from Naylor down the inside of Seamus Cox and up into 4. Cox, though, I think he's going to come back down the inside into Shoemakers. Naylor's going to try and run around the outside and carry a little bit more speed. See whether he can get a move done down into Holmes, but ultimately not close enough to have another go at Seamus Cox. There is Cox in that green and orange machine. Half race distance when they come over, plus that one lap at the end, of course, sees Jacob Dukes leading from Joe Garraway. The gap out to 0.4 of a second. See whether there's anything Naylor can do here to get past Seamus Cox. He's already had one go and got the move done almost down the inside, and Cox managed to get the cut back at Degner 1. So looks like Naylor's got some pace at the end of the straight. Needs a good run out of the final corner though. Does indeed close up. Let's see whether he's close enough this time, or in fact, looking in the background, there's contact in the background. You'll see in a few moments. The rest of the field will come through. There is Naylor. There is Seamus Cox. Naylor got alongside. Cox squeezed him to the inside, and they basically just snow-ploughed into each other and came to a halt on the outside of Degner 1. Bartek Filipiak down the inside of Rhys Owen. Then there's contact behind Rhys Owen from, looks like James Waring. The top three then now. We're going to have a comfortable run to the checkered flag and the podium. Shields telling Garraway that he wants to go forward. He's not going to challenge him for this one. He just wants to push him on towards the front. Shields, knowing that he doesn't need to finish any higher than where he is, he just needs to finish the race in general. I don't think he's going to do anything stupid. In that 181 machine, the 13-year-old from Wetherby, wise beyond his years when it comes to racing. I'm fairly sure he's just going to ride this one home towards the checkered flag. Third place on the podium and also second place in the Junior Rotax Championship here in the JKC. 4 minutes and 1/3 of the race remaining. Your championship winner and leader, Jacob Dukes, currently leading this race by 0.6 of a second from Joe Garraway. With Shields in third, then Jensen Mason, Curtis Latimer and Ben Horner, Sam Stoner, Harry Hurst-Grover, Melissa Adrian and Bartek Filipiak in 10th place. For those of you at the circuit, could the owner of van EY05 HYF, that's EY05 HYF, please move your van immediately, thank you. Three minutes remaining then in this Junior Rotax final. Dukes with a gap of 0.6 of a second from Joe Garraway and Maximus Shields. Then they've got 7 seconds back to Jensen Mason, who's come all the way through. Great drive from him to move him up into 4th place, having retired pretty much from the opening race of the day to run up in 4th place. Great effort for him. Caught up with him during our paddock walk and has dipped in and out of this championship all year, involving some of the longest treks up to Rowra and then down to Lydd. It's Dukes, Garraway and Shields. A second now between them. Dukes is opening up a little bit of a gap at the front as James Waring. That's Seamus Coleman coming back through the field. He's going to try and run it all the way around the outside of Waring, and then he's going to cut back into the tyre wall on the outside. With Rhys Owen in front of them in that 99 cart. Then there's contact between Waring into the back of Rhys Owen as well. They're side by side. Where's Cox in all of this? Is he still there? I think he had to back out of it ever so slightly. In fact, he's disappeared. And Seamus Cox, his day will end in retirement. You saw in there he was just pumping the throttle pedal. I don't know what the issue there is, but it looks like we could even have a black flag potentially over start-finish for somebody as well. Not sure who that's for. We're not going to get... It could have... It's one of these three. It could well have been the 85 of Ollie Naylor. So I'm not sure whether it was a problem with Seamus Cox. It looked like he was pumping the throttle pedal and got absolutely nothing out of it. We'll keep an eye out for other drivers potentially peeling off into the pit lane. With 1 minute remaining. Dukes now has a gap of 1.3 from Garraway. Shields in 3rd place. Happy, it seems, to do what is necessary and follow the 158 cart home. 46 seconds remaining then. Dukes leads from Garraway. I think the driver that was called in under the black flag was potentially Melissa Adrian. She's been shown as 2 laps down. So it looks like Dukes, as they come round, he'll get the last lap board next time. Then it's Joe Garraway Maximus Shields then in third place. The driver to watch here. All he's got to do is get that kart to the checkered flag, and that will be enough for second place in the championship for Maximus Shields. Just got to follow Garraway home. Doesn't need to do anything silly in this final 45 seconds of this junior Rotax final here at Ellough Park. Board is out already. It looks like the leader, Jacob Dukes, has caught up with a little bit of lap traffic. Managed to negotiate that successfully. Behind him, Garraway and Shields may well need to do exactly the same as well. Although won't need to do anything overly silly. Although Shields is going to try and get down the inside of Garraway. Had enough of looking at the back. He wants second place here. Shields, who only needs to get to the end, is starting to play a very, very dangerous game here with Joe Garraway as they head down towards Alan Wones for the final time. Your race leader, though, Jacob Dukes, comes out to take the checkered flag, and victory here at round number 8. Garraway will get second. Shields takes third and second in the championship. Then we wait for Jensen Mason to come through. Fourth place for him, in front of Ben Horner, Curtis Latimer, Harry Hurstgrover, and Ollie Naylor in 8th place. The top 10 will be completed then by Sam Stoner and Bartek Filipiak, in front of Nicholas Ellis, James Waring, Rhys Owen, Jaden Hewitt and Catherine Potter, and David Goodman. Your final runner on track with Melissa Adrian and Seamus Coleman off into the paddock.